So we're continuing with All-Star Comics number 4 from March-April 1941. The Green Lantern, with his strange, weird powers, is indeed a man to be feared by any evildoer. Grimly he opens his sealed orders from the chief of the FBI. What have we here? Green Lantern. The radio is one of the first lines of national defense in war. It would be used to bring our far-stretching borders closer together. Lately, reception on many important wavelengths has been unusually bad. There is reason to believe a foreign power is causing sabotage. Investigate this at once. Sincerely yours, somebody. FBI Chief. I rather hoped this would be my assignment. My radio experience should prove invaluable. Next day, the Green Lantern resumes his normal identity as Alan Scott, radio engineer, employed by the Apex Broadcasting System. And how is the charming Miss Irene Miller this morning? I've been waiting for you. The boss wants to see you. The office of the president of the broadcasting company. No doubt you know radio reception has been pretty bad lately. Uh-oh, lightning has struck twice. Something must be wrong with our transmitters. Alan Scott, I want you to inspect them. Miss Miller, will you take down your findings? Alan, I have a feeling it's not our transmitters that are at fault. I have a feeling it's sabotage. Later. What? Irene unrolls a map of the radio network. I have checked up and I found out that some interference has been striking our stations in consecutive order from east to west. You mean it would concentrate on one station one day and the next station in line on another day? Possibly. It's just coincidence. It's sabotage. Orderly sabotage. Yesterday it was station WQS. That was hit the worst. That means WXF in Springfield is next. You're crazy. Maybe, but just the same, that's where I'm going. And don't you dare tell the boss about this or I'll never speak to you again. That night, Alan dons his costume, touches the ring to the mysterious lamp. Amazing how Irene came to the same conclusion I did. I'll let her think that I'm staying in the city to look at the transmitters better that way. I love his costume. In a trice, Alan Scott has become the scourge of crime, the Green Lantern. And I shall shed my light over dark things, for the light things cannot stand the light of the Green Lantern. With the speed of light of which he is master, he streaks through the sky. I ought to be at WXF by morning. I'll beat Irene there with hours to spare. As the morning sun rises, a hurtling figure plummets down beside the great tower of station WXF. Editor's note, all radio stations have what are known as transmitter stations, and the tower is situated at some point out of the congested city areas. The dynamos contained in these stations must be perfect working order to ensure satisfactory reception. With cat-like stealth, he flits through the interior when, Krapek, you are a Teuton. You must do this for the fatherland. I am an American. I am a citizen of the United States. This is my fatherland. It is your job to see that the dynamo keeps going out of commission no matter how many times your company has it repaired. You are trusted here. You can do it. No one will know. I won't. I refuse. Traitor, the fatherland knows how to deal with such as you. Kill the traitor. A living hurricane dives into their midst. I don't like your uniforms, and I don't like your faces either. Unknowingly, one of the assailants throws a weapon to which the Green Lantern is not immune, a glass bottle, a non-metal, and lays him low. Cowards, you cowards! Instinctively, the Green Lantern staggers in pursuit of the fleeing foreign agents. Got to stop them, got to! The Green Lantern sees the men race to a waiting plane, enter it, and take off. The Green Lantern springs into the air after the speeding plane. They're not going to get away so easily. Like a giant bird, the plane flies into a mass of clouds, and though the Green Lantern watches with keen eyes, the plane fails to reappear. Strange, it's as if it were swallowed by the clouds. I can't understand it. Later that day, Irene Miller arrives. Alan will laugh on the other side of his face when I solve this case. I think I'll look around here first. As she steps into the transmitter station, she is just in time to see, we heard you have refused to aid your fatherland. For that you must die. I told your men before I am an American. I owe allegiance only to the country I live in. Sensing danger imminent to the little man, little, looks normal size, Irene leaps forward without realizing her own peril. You leave him alone, you murderer. A girl, grab her. Both Irene and the man called Krapek are overpowered. What shall we do with them? Let us take them to the Baron. He may want to question them. Good idea. Not more than a few minutes later, the Green Lantern enters the control room. I'll question Krapek. A woman's purse. That's Irene's. She's been here. Fearing the worst, he races outside in time to see the plane I lost in the clouds, Irene. They must have taken her on it. With meteoric speed, he vaults up into the sky. You don't get away from me this time, baby. As the plane enters a great cottony cloud, the Green Lantern is right behind. This is the very cloud it went into. He emerges to view a startling sight. A gigantic dirigible floats against a background of billowy clouds. A camouflaged dirigible. The vents send out smoke that surrounds it and makes it look like a large floating cloud. Inside the great airship, Irene and Krapek are brought before the Baron. Krapek, you should have damaged the dynamo. I will see to it that your relatives in the fatherland suffer for your indiscretion. Is that the machine that is responsible for our bad radio reception? Ha, yes. This machine is the fatherland's device to jam all radio frequencies and hinder reception. Krapek could have helped us by damaging the dynamo until we were ready, but he refused. So this dirigible is just floats like an innocent cloud over the network radio towers, jamming our wavelengths. Clever, isn't it? Whenever we want to, we shall be able to cut off all broadcast in your country. We are experimenting on it now. Suddenly a figure leaps from out of the shadows. It is the Green Lantern. Brother, your experimenting days are over, starting as of right now. Look, a masked man. With a quick movement for one of his bulk, the Baron wheels about, sends crackling electric waves shooting at the Green Lantern from a machine alongside the transmitter. And this is a new secret weapon we are experimenting on. You are fortunate to be the first to feel its effect. What? The Green Lantern is caught and rendered helpless by the waves of electricity. You wear a costume. I have had reports about mantled flying men who are trying to wreck our organization. No doubt you are one of them. Most of them don't fly, actually. As the Baron rants, a figure suddenly darts forward. It is Krapek. I shall take especial care that you shall suffer for it. Bullets bore into the valiant man's body, but somehow, some way, he keeps smashing at the horrible machine until it is completely disabled. The Green Lantern, freed from the paralyzing waves, tears into the Baron with a fistful of knuckles. Now let's see if you can take it. Taking advantage of the confusion, the Master of Light sends a blazing beam of light at the controls to the dirigible, melting them. As the great balloon begins to drop, the Green Lantern seizes Irene and Krapek and springs out and away. I think that's literally a picture of the Hindenburg. A drawing of it, not a literal picture. A burning pyre marks the end of the once great menace. The Green Lantern turns his attention to the dying Krapek. How are you, old man? I want to tell you the leader they mentioned his name is Fritz Claver. He has headquarters in Toledo, Ohio. Stop him. He's plotting something against America. Stop him. Did you see his face when he died? It had a light in it. It was glorious. I'll never forget it. He was a great little guy. Jeez. How mean. But what's more important is that he was a great American. He gave his life for the country. Well, I've things to do. So long. Wait. The next day, Irene meets Alan Scott back at the Apex Studios. Well, have you read the papers, Mr. Smarty? Didn't I tell you I was right about it being sabotage? All right. But for Pete's sakes, don't crow about it. You win. That night in his sanctum, the Green Lantern again places his ring against the potent lamp. I'll show Krapek he didn't die in vain. I'll get the leader behind the mob of fifth columnists. Like a streak of light, the Green Lantern races through the city. His eyes seem to see a distant city. In that city, that man, Fritz Claver. Toledo, Ohio, that's my destination. So, here's the thing. None of this stuff happened. It's kind of emerging between reality and fantasy, and I don't think I really like it because it creates a sense of paranoia. This story was written in either winter or spring of 1941, well before the United States had actually declared war. And this idea that there were saboteurs all across the United States simply wasn't true. So I'm not sure what the purpose here is. But I kind of feel like, Either stay with reality or stay with fantasy, but merging the two can just confuse people. But the next story is going to feature the Spectre.